Welcome back to the Wilderness Podcast. How you guys doing, ladies and gentlemen? I know I'm a little late, but you see, I gotta work it a little bit, so you have to take a little time to got a little time for you. So check it out. I wanted to do the show tonight. This show is called "Change is Coming Soon." Some folks are dreading the new. So dig this: the change is coming soon, and some folks are dreading the new. Why are they dreading the new? We're gonna get into all of this in the whip moments. But first of all, y'all like the sweater? The emblems are a little small. The Wilderness Podcast. You see the emblems a little small. I gotta make it. I gotta redo this sweater. I do like the back was done nice though, but I think I kind of want to do an embroidery thing. And you can see the back of the shirt. Gotta do some tweaking on some stuff. You know, but it's size. It's great material. I just want to do some design change ups real good. Make it real fresh, make it nice, make it clean, and make it cool. Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. But anyway, you can check the merch out on wilderness.podcast.com. Nice stuff, cool stuff. Nice lounge. Not too dressy, but you can go out and chill out and have a good day. You can work out. You know what I'm saying? You can just relax and be cool and be yourself because the wheel is yours. But check this out, man. Change is coming. The change is coming. The change is already here, to be honest with you, because it starts with the ages. We have left the age of Pisces and we are in the belly of Aquarius. We're getting into Aquarius now. So you see all of these, faulty systems, like they say, London Bridge is falling down. That's sort of the parable of Western society, but it's just renewing. Things are renewing. Lies are coming to the forefront. A lot of people that are inadequate, inefficient, and inequipped, they're gonna have to exit stage left. And I think a lot of accountability needs to be held on people. I think they need jail sentences. Some people are just so wicked and evil and cruel, and we could be cruel to children and those type of capacities. A change has to come, and these people are in the United States Congress. Damn. It's all of them. All of them. You got to round them up, and they need to be shipped to Alligator Alcatraz. But anyway, let's get to the first whoop moment. Because the change is coming, some folks are dreading the new. How can you not like change? The reason why some people don't like change is because they get set in their way, they get comfortable, they don't want to develop, they want to settle. That's the mentality of the boomers that transcended to all of the other generations, the mindset of settling. But see, in this new age, if you settle and stop moving, you perish. You become unalive. The world is moving too fast, you can't keep up. Those people perish, they die. So the reason why at this point, you don't have to like change, you just have to change. So when people all have that old notion, I ain't ever gonna change, okay. Some things have to change about you. Some of your ways have to change in order for you to become become a person of any value in the future. So you say you don't want to change, times are changing. You're not going to change with the times either. Okay. See, these are times when that mentality, you will be left behind. If you can't understand how to survive and pivot your way forward, you're going to be left behind. Or you're going to be stuck in some nook and cranny somewhere trying to figure out how to do what you need to do to survive. That's a hard way of living. That's a hard way of even trying to live. But hey, to each his own. I got to speed it up with this show, so we're going to get to the next moment pretty fast. It's called Comfort and Crimes. See, that's what these good old boy networks was about. And Congress was capitulating and also made itself a part of it. And let's also talk about the Congressional Black Caucus. The average age is like 80. They never passed the torch. They never gave any groom guidance, but they did a lot of foreign affairing with poor nations, with using U.S. aid and all kind of different apparatuses to be comfortable in their crimes. How the hell you give aid for 60 something years? You ain't done yet. You got to be doing something else. It's called trafficking in most cases. And then you got celebrities that are just so comfortable going over there and adopting little black kids and saying they living the best life. Angelina Jolie, she did it, but I can't say that that little girl didn't live a good life. She went to HBCU. Who knows? But who knows what them kids go through? Who knows what any of these high-profile celebrity children go through? And some children that they have, and they disappear. You don't even see them anymore. They're just gone. So you have to think about, you know, how people are comfortable in their crimes because they want you to be a criminal so they don't feel so bad. Yeah. Why do you think these rituals, these type of organizations, and the pick me? Some people, why do you think they create the starving artist? So that you can starve before you make it, before you become that big artist. You got to starve it out first. Yeah. I kind of feel that way on YouTube right now sometimes. I'm making sure I do shows that they to get the watch outs to make sure y'all watch my long version of my shows. And I have to hope and pray that you catch on and just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Just keep pushing it out there. So there are other things that are going to come that you guys are going to like, but I hope you keep sticking with me. I hope you keep watching the shows. I'm grateful and very appreciative for, you guys that take your time and watch my episodes. And because I'm doing it straight up, though. I'm doing it straight up. It's just what it is. But anyway, back to confident crimes. People want dirt on you. They want to dirty you up real good. Just so you don't buck. Because they're letting you know, I've given you this. They don't tell you you work for it. They say, I've given you this life. I've given you this opportunity. But you don't, but again, they'll let you know you don't have the talent. I picked you. What if I would have picked them? Well, you probably couldn't have picked them because they weren't going with you. But they can use that as a strong suit against you in your case. Well, I liked you. You was talented enough. I know more talented people, far more talented than you. That's how they keep you in a box. That's how they let you think you feel. That's how they make you feel expendable. But they're right. You are expendable. If you're a star, yeah, some of those people are expendable. And they do create them, and they do make them. And they also take advantage of them, abuse them, allegedly. But it's more so of an enslavement, if you think about it. They control the distribution. They control the marketing. They control your image. They control you. That's what happens, when you're in those industries. And when you're in those places where you have a problem with self-governance, because it doesn't go that way with everybody. See, some of these artists are big problems, and they do have to pay their way out of jail. And, they have these expensive drug habits. They're not on time all the time. They're a big ass problem. When it comes to being comfortable in their crimes because they make enough money. But what if the backing goes away? What if people are tired of having your back, so you can't be comfortable in your crimes anymore? Because people don't want to be capitulate. Some people do, some people don't. Some people gain a conscience, some people lose their conscience. It's up to who you're around. It's up to who you surround yourself with. But these things do happen. That's what happens. Most people are comfortable in their crimes. Just like we could take the dominant society in America. What do we always say about, let a white man commit a crime? Minimal if to no punishment. Let a black man commit the same crime. The book gets shoved down his ass and you got to shit it out. That's how that goes. So y'all know we always have said about the two Americas, meaning the two different judicial systems. And the beautiful part about living in today's time is, didn't we tell you this was true for the whole world to see? I just make you look back and think, well, this tell the Barack Obama when he did shit anyway, but just to think that he would have done some justice. He just did how he wanted to do. But no, he couldn't have done that. They would have hung his ass out to dry. But you see, with Trump, he gets to do however he wants, whenever he wants, however he wants, and you got these sycophant suckfarts that love it. He can say, let's all go to hell. You're going to go with me. They'll be like, hell yeah, Trump, I'm going to hell with you, baby. That's how they'll get out. It's crazy. It's crazy, but you got that kind of loyalty. But he told them, I can do this, that, and the third on Fifth Ave. And people that still love me. So, man, stage and shooting and all this crazy shit, man. This dude is crazy. But that's comfort in your crimes. That's the whole name of the game. Being comfortable in your crimes. Let's get to the next foot moment. The refusal to develop. Yeah. I mean, think about all these people that see all of these crimes being committed. We have a felony. We have a president that's a felon. Yeah. But also, he has a bunch of felons and sycophants around him too. Allegedly. But I'm just saying, I mean, if you think about the company he keeps and the company they keep, they're all in the same circle and have been for a lot of years. A great deal, many of years. The thing, they planned to get to this point. They just didn't think they would be able to pull it off until they got more weapons to utilize in order to actually get it done. See, it started with the Tea Party. Well, it started a little before the Tea Party. It started, when George H.W. was running and we was going to war, and Iraq and 9/11, all these falsifications. But then when Obama got in office, because they were sick of Bush, they said, "Oh, he's stupid. He's the worst president ever. Oh my God, he's just a dummy." Oh, people throw shoe. Remember when the dude threw a shoe at him? Bush got a shoe thrown at his. He ducked. He got out the way, but Buddy threw a shoe at him. I think he threw two shoes at him. Yeah, somewhere in the Middle East. I think he was in Iraq or something like that, giving a speech, and Buddy threw two shoes at his ass. Iran. He was in somewhere in the Middle East. Or it was somewhere, yeah, somewhere over there. So it was crazy. It was just crazy. In Eastern Africa, I would say that much. He was in Eastern Africa. And I remember them throwing two shoes. Dude threw two shoes at him. I think they locked him up, but he threw two shoes at Bush. But he was a journalist. Yeah, that happened. So then the Tea Party came with Obama. This was the vengeance. Because, Obama pretty much played on black people's heartstrings. He never did anything. He did a lot for gays. He did a lot for the LGBTQ community. He did a lot for them. He has a lot of scandals that were about, but I'm not going to get into the Obama scandals. He's a scandalous person within himself. But I'm referring to having the audacity and even ability, and he's the president and knows things that a lot of people do not know, especially about the story of the actual Native Americans and what he did for them when they're actual Siberians, and he knows this. And he knows who are the actual Aboriginal Americans, which are us, Black Americans, or just American Indians. You like the term Foundation of Black American. I have no problem with that. That's what you want to call yourself. I don't think if you're an Aboriginal American, I think that's just it. That's just what it is, Aboriginal American. But, when people want to say, whatever they want to say, but they're valid to say how they want to say what they want to say, when they want to say what they want to, and how they want to define themselves. I just know my history and my culture. I know my people too. And, people should know the same. But the refusal to develop is a serious issue with a great deal, many of people. That's why people cosplay. That's what they did. They just do what they think is cool. And how long has that been going on? For the very longest time in modern history, people have followed Black Americans. People have used us as we have been studied by the whole world and never befriended because of propaganda and people not knowing our true godly nature. They wanted to call us violent. That's not so. We're extremely welcoming people. We just got tired of being looked at as the person that's being propagated. See, propaganda is one thing, reality is another. See, the thing is, you wanted that stigma to stick so you can feel like I got somebody to walk on. I do. I have a feeble-minded person. You from somewhere in Africa. So how convenient is that? Because the thing is, when I was in the Marine Corps, I learned and I was told a great many different things from a different historical view that helped me understand why my grandmother told me what she told me when I was 13 years. Always being told from other people in the United States that I'm from somewhere else except my family. My grandmother told me, both of them told me specifically who and what I was. I had no qualm with that. It's just the world makes it hard to accept that. You'll be thinking your parents or your grandparents they don't know what they're talking. Yes, the hell they do know what the hell they're talking about. It's the rest of the world that wants to. And if you pay attention, open up your eyes and see how many times do you have to be reclassified. Jesse, rest in peace. But these stigmas never gave us a platform. They always, every time we established, they shook our platform from up under us. So they make us start over again. Different identity, different people. But when we try to, I'm black and I'm proud. Oh, Africa. Oh, you don't even do that. You don't even call yourself African. So how can I? There's no. You see, that's an illusion. These were ideologies. The goal and tools that you personally have to have. Now listen to my words. The tools that you personally have to have, personally have to have, is your specific identity, knowing who your parents were, knowing who their parents were, and starting from the root classification of yourself. And that's you. You personally. Listen to me. So when you focus on yourself and what your surrounding is, you'll see the state of your people and how to bring your people out of those situations, but starting with you. Now, people say, oh, some people get money and they don't help their families out. They don't do this, that, and the third. They don't look out for their people. If they looked out for everybody, they wouldn't have anything. They would have nothing. So you have to look out for yourself and love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, a lot of people will take advantage of you and tell you that they love you so much. But no, they're extracting from you, taking from you, reaping your rewards, your benefits, and they have nothing to give to you. Nothing but a pat on the back and say, good job, give me some more. That's all they got. That's why it's extremely important that when you make your way, you take care of you, you take care of your family if you wanted to create one. But some people say, I'm good with myself. I'm not hating you for that. But how important is legacy to you? And use your mental brain housing group to understand that you get older, you want to renew, you want a family, you want to formulate legacy. The only way you can do that is through children, even if it's just one child. But that's how you build. Fortunately, that's just our nature. That's our makeup as human beings, to collaborate and build with a person. A companionship. That's a part of humanity. So I think that's where a lot of us fall short, not understanding how important it is to love yourself. Because if you love yourself so much, You would not have the capacity to bring harm or hate other people or other kinds of people. But Black Americans had to learn this lesson at a very young age due to never having a real friend. Your family was your friends, people that you could identify with. But collectively, have you ever had a friend when nobody speaks up for you politically? You can have a friend, but y'all vote totally different. Is that your friend? What you are is you're civilized, and that's quite all right. That's what it should be. People have differences. But when you look at the undertones and when you look at what people are really saying within their votes, can you really say that that's your friend and that's the person? No, you just remain civil. But this person doesn't even understand you can't have a real relationship with them simply because of different ideological perspectives. When a person has a benefit, they are not willing to budge on that benefit. And that's what's crumbling in this country from the dominant society. Those benefits became extremely expensive because the behavior wasn't there to uphold the benefit. Their behavior was atrocious, awful, disgusting, demeaning, terrible, unwarranted. Um, extremely unwarranted, uh, underappreciated, um, extremely entitled. So that's what that behavior, that's what that uh, societal uh, societal levels that you try to uh, invent. That's the only thing that you ever wanted to invent was racial classifications because that's what gives you the edge unwarranted. So I am delighted and happy to see that system crumble because it's unwarranted. As simple as that. You don't deserve things because of your complexion, and you don't get to lie about things or have a different type of persuasion because you want to. No, that's how you ended up with alternate facts. So the same games you guys keep playing is you're just playing it with yourself now, and everybody that participates within those behaviors. This is about a problem or a societal issue with behavior, ethics, morality, and being civil. You have some people that just ain't never been civil and don't want to be civil and have the nerve to call other people ghetto. That's ridiculous. It's backwards, just like you're thinking. Let me get to the next one. Ignored facts and made myths. That's what we were just talking about. Ignored facts. I mean, a fact should always remain a fact simply because it is a fact. And if it can be, if it can't be a fact, then what is it? It can't be rhetoric. But that's what people want. They want chaos. Chaos becomes rhetoric, becomes foolishness, becomes untethered. So, in order to have stability in a society, a fact must remain a fact, not a lie. The reason why the dominant society became so untethered because it has too many lies in the underbelly. You built the foundation on lies, untruths, recreating laws, calling people human, calling people inhuman, saying who is you simply because of a skin color as if you were the expert or duty expert at anything, not even an expert of yourself. So when you don't have the ability to even take care of self properly, loving yourself has nothing to do with terrorizing others, destroying other populations and civilizations and cultures. That has nothing to do with the love of yourself. That has to do with the love of power, domination, cruelty, and that makes you a worthless, god awful contributor to humanity. That's what that makes you. It makes you a disgusting creature, not even human. That's why you have no empathy or sympathy in those things that actually matter to make you humane, civil. So even when they had this so-called civil rights movement, the reason why it failed because nobody was civil. Who the hell was civil? No one, but the people being oppressed. So we understood that lesson was never going to get you anything because no one was civil. The only people that were civil was the ones being oppressed. And you see what that got you? Failure. It's about respect. And I like these young fellas. I like the young ladies. I like the young generation for a lot of these folks, they're starting to understand. They're younger and they're all about respect and they're self-doers. Got a lot of you little young millionaires out here too, but at least they're taking the ability to learn, uh, to build and to orchestrate and to enhance and to build legacy at a young age. That's a very powerful tool. That's a powerful way of moving. That's motivating, So don't hate on them. Add to them. Give them the tools. Didn't I just tell you, the United Black Caucus, the Black Caucus, whatever the hell they is, them trifling some bitches didn't give nobody a leg up. Look how old Al Sharpton is. Damn, they're pushing 80 years old, something like that. Oh, what are you doing? What are all you old bastards doing? Yeah, I call you bastards because you didn't do nobody right. All you're concerned about is your yard, your fabricated ass history that you believe is just yourself. Um, you got a lot of buy-ins you were taken care of. You live in you live in them upscale. You like living around white people. You do. You like living around Europeans. Hey, you like pretending your whole damn life because that's the way you love feeling yourself. That's just who you are. You've never carved out your own way or path. You say you did, but those were younger people, and you made sure that you stifled the younger generations. My generation, Generation X, we had to get it all out the mud by ourselves. You guys had no knowledge. You just wanted to run us through church and run us to Jesus and run us up the goddamn flagpole. And if you didn't do what you say, you put our asses in jail. Yeah, Generation X one shit to y'all, man. Y'all didn't give a shit about us, for real. You boomers with children yourself, man, damn. My goodness, these boomers, boy, they was not the brightest tools in the toolbox. They ain't know shit about history. Um, they was just our parents that wanted to give us a better life or a better way, and they just did a lot of shit the wrong way. They had no identity of self. A lot of them didn't because of what the world had did to them. So that 60s, I'm black and I'm proud. I'm from Pensacola, Florida, so I was raised on a reservation. So I had to learn a lot of shit through TV. I grew up in the South. I'm a Bush person. So all I knew was my family members growing up when I was young. That's all I knew. Today's about like 9, 10 years old. That's all I was around. My family members. That was it. So I got a knack for learning and studying people because I wasn't around a whole lot of different people when I was younger. I was around my family members. Very close to the family when we were younger, but everybody else grew and grown up. We moved. My mother moved from Pensacola when I was about 10, going on 11. So, that kind of cut that tie. Not too much. I went to Florida every summer. We was close, still close to still talk to my cousins, my family abroad. Not abroad. I don't have any family abroad, but in Pensacola. I need to get in contact with my family in Montgomery and Selma. But I got family in Walnut Hill, Atmore, all these remote places. So that's how you know some of the oldest people that have ever been that exist in this country, pretty much. So that's how that is. That's what it is for you from the deep south. But ignoring facts and these made up myths, just like when they say, you know, they don't bring up when they didn't tell you about the Black Americans or the Aboriginals, you know, like I tell you, the Mississippians, the Mississippian Mound Builders, Yamashees, and all of the different tribes of the Southeast, extremely dark skinned, my complexion, dark copper color complexion, with the same features. So that allows you to understand specifically. Nobody has to make this shit up. It is what it is. So when people make things up, or when you don't believe facts, and when you don't even understand facts, that brings us to our next book moment: conscientious stupidity. Shout out to the Black Eagle Joe Madison for that. He said, the two most dangerous things in the world is conscientious stupidity. And what did he say? The other one was, I think it was sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. Both are, yes, very, very, very dangerous, because you get to pick and choose. And I know I talk about cognitive dissonance a ton on this show, because that's what people practice. And then you not only have the dominant society or Europeans, you got other types of people attaching to and wanting to practice cognitive dissonance. It's like it's a fucking drug. Oh, I get to pick and choose who I want to be. Oh my God, this is great. That's crazy. What's wrong with being who you are? See, cognitive dissonance is a weapon. And then you get to say, because you get to add this real crazy shit like, this is my truth, and I was gonna be lying your ass off, be lying your ass off. And the lies are lies are lies. Stop lying. Cognitive dissonance is a form of lying. Stop trying to make it eloquent, because it's not. That's picking and choosing and trying to see and trying to make sense of just this is where you identify. How the hell does that make sense? It does not. I can only go by how I identify you as. You're not going to lie to my eyes. So if a woman, quote unquote, a trans man wants to date a heterosexual man, that heterosexual man is not going to say, hey, trans woman, I see you as a woman. I now want to be with you as a trans woman. No, he's not going to do that. He says, no, you are made with the anatomy of me. That's what you're telling yourself, okay? That's what you're telling yourself. I identify with you with how I identify you. You're not going to pull that shit on me. No. I see what you are. I'm going to address and identify you as to what you are. Period. Do you understand? So that's how you understand what cognitive dissonance can really be a weapon. Because if you can't produce, okay, if you can't naturally produce a child, and a heterosexual man says, I want to be with a woman, you cannot stand in her place. Get it? Trans and woman are separate. Period. Categorically. Because you can't just put woman, you got to put trans in front of it. See what I'm saying? Trans. Okay? Jeez. Just got to make sense of these things. That's not bashing anybody. It's just a person with intelligence is going to make sense of things for themselves, not by what people tell them, because people love to lie. Let's get to the next book moment. That leads us to the next book moment. Making wrong right and right wrong. What are you going to tell me now? I don't define what's right and wrong. The hell if I don't. Yes, I do for me. It's called self-governance. I do get to define what's right and wrong for me. That's what you call existing in a society for myself and my family. Just like other people do within even in their cognitive dissonance. As long as you keep that, what you're doing over there, that's fine. You don't get the, I don't throw my vibrato around. I don't want you to throw yours either. Get it? But see, some people want to live in a sycophant world. They want to be able to behave and be as disgusting as they want to be. And that's why they keep pushing all of this trying to push these things to make us to make these things normalized. But there's nothing normal about, a lot of people say, well, what is water? What is normal nowadays? That's the problem. There's always going to be masculine and feminine, the major components to society, period. Masculine and feminine. That's what makes it work. And that's the only thing that organically creates. No disrespect to AI. No disrespect to artificial insemination. No. But where does the ideology come from? The natural orchestration of things. It's masculine and feminine. Yeah, that's what builds the society. That's what makes us a society. Man and woman, masculine and feminine. That's how we renew. In any relationship, even in an artificial intelligent relationship, there has to be ones and zeros. Yeah, it has to be that way. That's how we produce, even numerically. It's written into nature. Everything, man, woman, masculine, feminine, male, female. That's what makes the whole universe go round and round. So the problem is with people with their forever victim mentalities and, wanting to practice these, god awful tools that they implant into humanity. They mask it with lying, thieving, stealing, and they try to make it these alternate things. Like, how the hell do you come up with an alternate fact? That's the stupidest shit I ever heard. It should never be said again. You see how long that lasted. But you also see how fads go too. See, if you got masculine and feminine, those are fads. Forever victim mentality. Those are people that want they want some form of relief that they can gain themselves. They're just not going to get it on the backs of other people. You'll find your tribe. You find people that are like you. Nobody's hating on nobody that wants to do however they want to do. The problem is when you infringe on other people. That's when it becomes a problem. When it's unwanted, unwarranted, and when you infringe on other people. And some people I'm starting to understand like infringing on other people, especially children. See, that's the problem. A lot of people share these old sycophant characteristics, and they want to defend their nasty and shrewd behavior. That's all this is about. This is about wanting to do how you want to do in disguise. Knowing damn well it's some bullshit. Because you don't like practicing humanity, you like practicing hedonism. Yeah, that's what it is. Masked with humanity, but you really like hedonism. Yeah. You have to know your history so you don't repeat it, people. Let's get to it. The last whoop moment, because I got to get work started in a little bit. Stop starting shit. Then you don't have to eat shit. See, like a lot of people, yeah, they like to start a lot of shit. Love to start a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. But they don't like being accountable for the shit that they start or what they do. They like leaving a trail of just like a trail of bodies. It is still a trail of bodies when you hurt a lot of people, destroy a lot of people. I was talking the other night about people not giving a damn about having STDs. That's a trust factor that you have to have shared personally with a person, and they knowingly giving you a disease. Well, that's a hard pill. That's how people don't give a shit. You have to love yourself. That's why you can't get caught up in those situations, being so trustworthy with people. Disgusting. So you have to guard yourself. Protect yourself. Especially the ladies out here. Protect yourself. Because they got a whole lot of shit going on with these drugs, being able to mask HIV, talking about undetectable, all this old man. Protect yourself, love yourself, and find you somebody to really connect with. Because I'm telling you, when you start that shit, you're gonna eat some shit. That's how it's gonna go. You ain't gonna like it. But when you start some shit with somebody, you're gonna just trying to tell you. Woo! Just trying to tell you. That's how it's gonna go down. That's how it's gonna go down. You're not gonna like it. You gotta deal with people of some likeness, some ethics, morals, have conversations and communication. Communicate with people. You gotta communicate with people better. You gotta know how, you gotta want to communicate with people first and foremost. You have to want to communicate, you have to want to establish a connection. When you establish a connection, I guarantee you, once you like that person and y'all kind of know what each other equipped with, and you get to know each other, you anticipate that type of. I guarantee your game will go up a lot better. Your sex game gonna go up. All that shit up takes another level when you spend that intimacy and time. I had to learn that myself with my wife. She loves intimacy. Okay, yeah. Intimacy. You're gonna win every time. You know what I'm saying? That's that mental love making stuff. But don't guard yourself too. Don't be so guarded, but protect yourself in the most intricate ways. You know, communicate and connect properly. That's the show tonight. I got to do some shit myself tonight. So anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate you. I love communicating with you. I love putting on the show for you. Thank you for tuning in to the Will This podcast. Y'all. Anyway, change is coming. Some folks are dreading the new change. And the reason why they're dreading these changes again is because a lot of all this scamming, all this shit going on right now, somebody gonna have to account for this shit, or the bottle gonna fall out. Reset. But anyway, that's the show tonight. Think about that. Think about this. Leave some comments, man. Y'all leave me some comments, that like button. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think about the show. Watch my other shows. Start watching the long version of the shows. We appreciate you so much. We're trying to get to that. We're trying to get to that monetization, y'all. So I keep up the good work. You guys got to keep up the good work. Thank you. I appreciate you. It's the Will This Podcast, people. We appreciate you. And we got to get to the favorite part of the show. The will is yours. Be cool. Don't dread the change. Embrace it. We are holler. Peace.